Welcome, Healthy Green Thumbs friends. Today we are officially kicking off our Healthy Green Thumbs campaign with episode 1. And since the conditions are so ripe for growing outdoors, we thought it would be best to start by talking about how to grow plants outside. So to get us started, Cliff, the nurse farmer, is going to start us off with 4 essential tips for growing plants outside successfully.
I'm often asked a lot of farm and garden type questions. Questions like, what grows best in my region? Or, when should I sow or when should I plant this particular seed? And while those are all really good questions, the reality is there's not always a direct answer to those types of questions, and that's because it just depends. It depends on where you live, it depends on what your climate is like, what time of year it is, and so on and so on. And so that's why today I'm going to share with you 4 essential and helpful tips to help ensure your plant growing success. The first tip is getting familiar with your plant hardiness zone. Now, by plant hardiness, we're referring to a plant's ability to withstand cold weather temperatures. The USDA website has a free tool available online. It's called the Plant Hardiness Zone Map. And this tool can be helpful in helping you determine which plants most likely will or maybe will not thrive in your region. To find your plant hardiness zone using the USDA website, just type in your zip code, press enter. This shows my growing zone is 8B and tells me my average low winter temperature is 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. While knowing your plant hardiness zone as well as the low winter temperature is important, it's equally important to know and realize that frost can sometimes kill our plants and seedlings. And that's why tip number 2 is knowing the average date of the first and last frost for your region. The Old Farmer's Almanac has a free virtual tool on their website which can help you determine the average date of the first and last frost in your region. All you have to do is type in your zip code, press search. The average date of the last frost in my region is on March 6th, and the average date of the first frost is on November 29th. The frost dates are averages. The frost could come sooner or it could even come later than those average dates. So listen to your weather forecast for the most current information. Tip number 1 and tip number 2 both tie into tip number 3, which is the importance of following seed sowing or seed planting instructions. Now, generally speaking, seed companies will provide seed planting instructions on the seed packet. Instructions should include when to plant your seeds in your region, and that's why it's so important and helpful to know your plant hardiness zone. Seed planting instructions should also include when to plant the seeds in regards to those frost dates. So can you see how it would be helpful to know those frost dates? Knowing your plant hardiness zone, identifying the average date of your first and last frost, and following seed planting instructions will help ensure your success in growing your own plants. In closing, my 4th and final tip is establishing relationships with your local garden centers, your local farmers markets, and like-minded growers can be invaluable sources of information. On a personal level, I'd like to share that when I moved from California to Alabama, I really missed growing my own citrus trees. Well, just through networking, I found a local citrus farmer who grows his own citrus trees right here in Mobile County. He's been growing for years and years and has provided me with invaluable insight and tips to help me succeed. Susan and I both hope that you find these 4 tips helpful, and we both wish you the best of luck and success with your plant growing endeavors. Be sure to share some pictures of your plants and of yourself, giving us a healthy green thumbs up. You can share the pictures either with me, the nurse farmer, or with Susan, the nature nurse. Be sure to use the hashtag #HealthyGreenThumbs. Take care, my friends.
Thanks, Cliff. It's really amazing to see your garden. What are you growing down there?
Thanks for asking, Susan. Anybody who knows me knows that I love growing tomatoes. Since I moved here to Alabama, I've started growing watermelon, and believe it or not, started growing okra. Okra grows really, really well down here in Mobile, Alabama.
Those are some great tips that you shared with us. Thanks for all that. You know, it's funny that you mentioned citrus trees because I know that up in New York, many of my clients want to grow citrus trees. It's probably one of the number one requests that we get in our garden shop. And they're not hardy there, so what ends up happening is people plant them in containers, and then in the winter they have to bring them inside, put them in a sunny window, and then in the spring bring them back out. And eventually, if they're successful in growing them, they get too big, and then it becomes a problem. So your advice is really good to consider growing what's hardy in your area so that you can be successful and save your energy for growing things that grow well in your zone.
Yes, and I just want to reiterate that by hardy or hardiness, what the USDA means is which plants are most likely to grow and thrive at a particular location. For example, watermelons and okra, both of those will thrive in a hot environment like here on the Gulf Coast. I had to learn the hard way that growing okra and watermelon can be a lot more challenging in a place, say, like San Francisco. After trying several times, I decided it just wasn't worth my time or my energy. So when I lived in the Bay Area, I started growing other plants that would thrive there, like lettuce and other greens. Now with that said, what I'm finding here is just the opposite is true in Mobile. It is very challenging to grow lettuce here. Not impossible, and I haven't given up just yet, but the point is that when we know and understand which plants will or will not thrive, it can help us avoid a lot of frustration.
I love seeing the chickens running around behind you there, Cliff. And, you know, it's funny, I had to laugh when I heard the rooster crow during your segment there, sharing your 4 tips.
I had to try and not laugh myself. Our chickens are mostly for eggs, and they're more or less our pets. We keep them for pets. Plus, the good thing about it, from a gardening standpoint, is that we use the poop for a natural and organic form of fertilizer. We avoid using any chemical fertilizer at all costs.
Yes, backyard chicken farming is actually becoming more popular. In fact, last summer we did an informational video, and it's up on the Nature Nurse YouTube channel, but I'll include a link in this week's newsletter in case anyone's interested.
I remember that video, and we absolutely should share it. You know, raising chickens might seem like it's a little bit off topic, but Susan, I think you and I could both make the argument that raising chickens could be a way of developing, or at the very least, supplementing a healthy green thumb. And the reason I say that, it goes back to what I just said a moment ago. We use the poop from our chickens as a form of natural and organic fertilizer.
Yes, chicken keeping may be a little off topic, but it's still a fabulous way to engage in nature. And that's it for this week's episode, so we're so glad that you decided to join us. We look forward to seeing your healthy green thumbs on social media. Just post a picture with your thumbs up with whatever you're growing, whether it's indoors or out, and use the hashtag healthygreen thumbs, and we'll be looking for you. See you next time.